This conference will now be recorded.
All right. So today we are going to start our session on TypeScript. Okay, and we are going to cover all the basic topics that are expected in TypeScript. So just a minute. I'll just yeah. So for Playwright, the first thing that we are going to cover is sorry, no, this not this one. Can everybody go on mute, please? Okay. So I've muted everyone. So while we were discussing our course content, we saw that we are going to cover firstly about TypeScript, so that whenever we are working on Playwright with TypeScript, our basics are clear, that why we are doing certain things. Okay. So for that, we need to first focus on learning at least the core part of TypeScript. So today we are going to start with our basics of TypeScript. Uh, let's start with that. I'll share another PPT. Just a minute. So this is what TypeScript is. Okay, whenever you are asked that what exactly is TypeScript, then TypeScript is basically a superset of JavaScript, where it contains, or it confides of everything that JavaScript provides. Over and above that, it provides more features like interfaces, generics, and it is a strongly typed scripting language as compared to JavaScript is a dynamically typed scripting language, while TypeScript is a strongly typed uh, scripting language. We will practically see right now that why JavaScript is dynamically typed and why TypeScript is statically typed. Okay, so basically, TypeScript is the most popular open source object oriented programming language. Okay, and it is strong because of being strongly typed. It is known as the superset of JavaScript. Okay, so it builds on JavaScript and adds additional features like static typing, classes, interfaces to make your coding more efficient. Okay, and we are going to learn everything. Okay, and at every point we are going to learn the differences between JavaScript and TypeScript. Okay, so let's start with our basic setup for TypeScript. Okay, so for that, firstly, what we are going to do is that we are going to go to our terminals or our workspace, whatever is comfortable to you. So we have created a workspace where we have created, something for our Playwright training, right? So this is basically for Playwright completely that we are going to use. So we are going to create another folder, okay, for our TypeScript basics. TypeScript basics, and since this is a Jan batch, I'll just add Jan so that it's differentiated to me. Okay, so again, we had two ways to access the Visual Studio Code. Okay, I had showed you two ways. One was we go to our terminals or our command prompts. Okay, and we cd to our project. So I will just say cd the practice workspace, and then cd the TypeScript project. Okay, and then here I type code space dot. So this opens the VS Code for me with the project, current project as this. Okay, or the other way around is that you basically go to your explorers, Windows explorers. If you're using Windows, you go to your Windows explorers. You access Visual Studio Code, okay, and you basically when it opens this Visual Studio Code, then you basically go to open folder and you navigate to your particular project, which is your TypeScript Basics Jan 25, and then say open. Okay. So these are two ways to access your project in Visual Studio. Okay.
Tripathi, sorry for disturbance. Okay, from here, like Visual Studio, how can I create the folder here, new folder?
From here, I
Yes.
honestly have never done that, but I think I don't see any option to create a new project over here. So basically, I create it myself and then open it.
Okay. Okay.
We
So
can,
we
sorry
can
for
create
interrupting,
the
we can just right click, create folder. We can click
Yeah,
over there.
but that will create a folder here. Okay, in a blank one, yes, probably yes. You can. There is an
Yes.
option here to create a folder. Yeah, yes. But I basically, as I have told, that I create a folder inside a workspace. So you should always have a workspace accessed first, and then you create a folder inside that. So that is your project. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
just don't create the folder randomly anywhere and everywhere. You should always have a workspace where you should be creating your projects and accessing your projects. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, so this is our beginning. Okay. So we all have Node.js installed. So basically, Node.js is going to work as our base for executing our TypeScript programs. Okay. So we will be using Node.js. So the first feature that we just talked about is statically typed and dynamically typed. Okay. So as I said that TypeScript is statically typed while JavaScript is dynamically typed. Before going to this diagram or this representation, let's understand this practically. Okay. So to understand this practically, I will go to my project folder and I will click here as new file, or you can right click and say new, or you can go here and you can say new file, either ways. So I'll just create a new file here and I will say 01 dynamic js.js. Okay. So I will be giving the extension of this file as .js because this is a JavaScript file. We are first going to understand the dynamic nature of JavaScript file and then the static nature of TypeScript to understand the difference between both. Okay. So this is a JavaScript file that I have created. I have started it with the name 01 because whatever we are going to do throughout the session, we are going to number them as 02, 03, 04, so that you have a chronological order of all the things that we are learning in the manner that we are learning. Okay. So let's first understand why JavaScript is known as dynamic. Okay. So double, okay, okay. Are you able to see now, everybody?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
we can see.
So I will say this is commenting. Okay, this is single line commenting, and when you want to comment a block, you can use this and write anything inside this. So this will only be a comment and not executable code. Okay. So I'm just giving a single line commenting here. Why JavaScript is dynamic. Okay. So let's learn that why JavaScript is dynamic. Okay. So to understand why JavaScript it is dynamic, first and foremost, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a variable. Okay. I'll say var. Okay. str1, and I'll just add some string value to it. My name is Tripti, so I'm going to add name to it. Okay. So this is what it is, and then I'm going to say just print it. Okay. So I'm for printing anything on your console or terminal, you will use the library console dot log, and the variable name which you are going to use. Okay, so when we are saying var str1, this is a variable declaration. Okay, and when you are saying that is equals to Tripti, it means we are initializing a variable with a value. Okay, so I have initialized str1 variable. This is just a name, like my name is Tripti. Tripti could be a dog, Tripti could be a human being, Tripti could be a flower, Tripti could be anything. Okay, until and unless I initialize a value into it, I don't know what Tripti means. Okay, Tripti could be a number, Tripti could be a Boolean value, Tripti could be a string. But until and unless I initialize some value in it, Tripti is just a variable, a blank variable. So I have, sorry, str1 is just a variable. Okay, so I have initialized Tripti inside it. So I'm saying that this particular variable has a string in it. Okay, so I am then printing this value just to see that how it works. Okay, also what I can do is I can read the type of this particular variable by saying that console.log, and basically I'll, so anything inside double quotes would be just a string and nothing executable. So I'll say type of variable is, okay, and I'll say, just say type of is a predefined function in JavaScript which helps us get a type of a particular variable or any value. Okay, or any function. Okay, so I'll say I need the type of str1 to be printed. Okay, now let's understand how JavaScript is dynamic. Okay, now I have initialized str1 as a string value. Okay, it is a string value Tripti. Now here what I do is I say str1 is equals to 3. Okay, and I again print the values and the type. Okay, now here I say that str1 is equals to false, a boolean. Okay, so here it is a numeric value, here it is a boolean value, and at the time of declare I could have, just declared it here, and then I could have just said str1 is equals to 50, so it is a string value. So are you seeing that in one single variable, I am changing the type of value that I am initializing in this variable, and there is no error, there is no compile time error that I am seeing. Okay, so guys, here comes another thing. What is compile time and what is runtime? Okay, you need to come with the answers tomorrow to me. Okay, this is a question to you. What is compilation and what is execution? What is the difference? Okay, so I am not seeing any compile time error here. Okay, so let's execute this and see, do we get any error at that time that I am initializing one particular variable with, string also, with number also, with boolean also? Am I going to get any error there? So let's see that. Okay, so I go to my terminal, and to run a JavaScript program we are going to use our npm. Okay, so npm has this package node.js which we are going to use for execution. So I say node 01 and my JavaScript file name. Okay, and I enter. So it executes without any issues. Okay, it printed the value and then it printed the type, which is string. Then I have initialized it with number and the type is number. Then I have initialized it with boolean and the type is boolean. No errors anywhere. Even if I'm changing the value of this variable again and again, then also there are no errors at all. This is called dynamic nature of JavaScript. Understood till here, guys? This is called dynamic nature of JavaScript. Okay, now let's understand the static nature of TypeScript. Okay, so we are going to make another file. We are going to say 02. Okay,
Sorry to interrupt you, Tripti here. Because the data types were different, that's why it didn't overwrite or it didn't throw an error. Like the string 1, if you're using Tripti, and for string 2, instead of number, if you have used another string like Rama, right? And the string one again, maybe Rahul. So in that case, would it give the same result like it
Yes,
did?
yes, no errors. So the idea behind here is that it is not fixing up the data type at all. You can initialize a variable with any kind of data type value.
Mm-hmm.
That is what dynamic nature of JavaScript is.
All right.
Now let's see how TypeScript works, and then you will understand the difference.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll say static ts, and now since it is a TypeScript file, I'll say .ts. Okay, do you see that this particular icon is getting initialized or getting displayed as per the file type? Okay, so this is a TypeScript file and this is a JavaScript file. Okay, the compiler, the Node.js compiler is itself differentiating between both the files. Okay, so now understand that how TypeScript works here. Okay, so for TypeScript, what we are going to do is that we are now going to see the static nature. We are going to, let's do one thing. Let's copy paste the same program. Let's copy paste everything same here. Okay. Should have been given an error. Why didn't it is taking it any. Now here in TypeScript, I get an advantage of basically data typing. Okay. I say str1. So let me just move this and I'll say str2. Now I know why it is not giving an error. str2 is equals to, I'll say stripty again here. And then I will say str2 is equals to 3. And here I'm going to say that it is supposedly to be of string type. Okay, so it has started giving me a compile time error where it is giving a very specific error to me that type number is not assignable to type string. Okay, I can only assign a string or a number to a particular variable. Okay, it should have given here, it's, yeah, now. So while declaring this variable, I said that it has to be of string type. Now I'm trying to put a numeric in it, so it starts giving me an error. Okay. So this is what static nature of TypeScript means. The TypeScript, basically, this is called type inference. Okay. As the name suggests, inference in a English language is the English language word, which basically means that you basically conclude or reach on a particular decision on the basis of the reasoning or evidence. Okay, that is what inference means. Okay, so type inference means that once I am declaring the variable, if I initialize that variable with a value, then TypeScript or Node.js, the Node.js compiler basically type inference that it will be always a string value in this variable. It will not consider any other kind of data type value inside it. Okay. So this is what static nature of TypeScript is. Here is where the difference between JavaScript and TypeScript, the basic and the first difference between JavaScript and TypeScript is coming. Okay, this is the biggest difference that is there between JavaScript and TypeScript. Okay, also in TypeScript you get an advantage of data type declarations. Okay, JavaScript do not provide you data type declarations. Okay, so what you could have done is that, say suppose I have let num1, I could have said that I want this to be of type number, and in this I will have 3, and then in num1 I can have any kind of number. I could have had 4, 5, 6, no errors will be there. Okay, so this declaring the data type, this particular functionality is not available in JavaScript, and this is available in TypeScript, and this is called type annotation. Till here, everyone? Yes, no, maybe questions?
Tripathi, just one question here. The line number third you mentioned num1 equal to 5, right? Line number 2 also you mentioned number equal to 3. So which one it will take when you see the
The
output?
final one. The final one. It will override, right? It will override. But this
Okay.
num1 will not take string any or a boolean or any other data type now. Okay? It will throw an error. If I give
That,
try to
that which will take an error, throw an error. So the
yeah.
final output is a num1 it will take equal, 5 it will come output as.
Yeah, you can always print and check, right? You can
Yeah, yeah.
always console.log and num1 and you can check. So it will always override. That is for sure. Whichever is the latest initialized value is what it is.
Okay.
Till
Uh,
here,
I have one more question. So the type annotation is not a compulsory thing, right, to do in TypeScript?
in TypeScript, no, it is not compulsory. But as a developer, as a QA engineer, as a software engineer, there are certain good practices or best practices that you should always follow during programming, which is this: having a type annotation. Why? Because when you are working on a particular code, as an engineer, you are not the only one working on that complete piece of code, right? There are many developers who might be working on that code, and they might be using or sharing the code, right? So when they are sharing the code, if they are trying to share any of the variables that you have declared beforehand, they will get a tooltip that this particular variable takes only number type as a variable, as a value. Okay, rather than during the initialization they will start getting those red wavy lines with an error. No, it does not take a number, it only takes a string, or it does not take a string, it only takes a number. It beforehand in the tooltip they start seeing that okay, it accepts only a number and not a string. So these are some good practices which we should actually inculcate during the programming.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tripti, when to
Yes.
use it and when to use where?
Yeah, so these are basically two types of variable declarations. Okay, so you can use let or var either, but there is a minor difference between both and we will learn. Okay, so basically I'll show, I have a slide for that also. Okay, we'll show that practically, but first try to run, we'll now learn how to run a TypeScript program. Okay, there is a difference in running a TypeScript program and a JavaScript program. So whenever you will be in an interview, you will be asked that why is TypeScript a superset. Okay, so you will always have to say that it is a superset because it not only inculcates all the features that JavaScript provides, but it also gives additional features over and above JavaScript. It is statically typed, it provides interfaces to it provides features like classes and interfaces, which is not available in JavaScript. Okay, then you will be asked by that what is type inference and type annotation and what is the difference. Okay, so you can always tell the difference now. Okay, inference is something where we in TypeScript only we have this property as type inference and type annotation. But type inference basically means that when you are initializing a particular variable or an object, and the compiler takes the data type according to the initialized value, that is type inference. Okay, and type annotation is where we are explicitly giving the data type of that variable. Okay, so currently what we saw when I tried to initialize num1 with a boolean, say suppose I saw this red wavy lines. This is compile time error. I have still not executed my program, okay, but before the execution itself I started seeing an error. This is called compile time error. Okay, yes, no, maybe.
Yeah, fine. Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
So now guys, how to run a TypeScript program. Okay, we move ahead. So if you see here, I have explained the same thing here, that JavaScript is dynamically typed because I declared a variable number is equals to 10, and then I initialized it with a string, and I also used a round function over it where I tried to round up the number, but it did not give me any error in the compile time. During the execution, directly during the execution, I will give an error. What is the disadvantage here? Say suppose I have written an API or a function, okay, and that function is getting used by some other developer. I'm talking about JavaScript. I'm working in JavaScript right now. I declared a function which is basically the name of the function is, say suppose the name of the function or the API is rounding off number. Okay, okay, and I pass a number to it and it starts throwing an error. I am not able to understand why it is throwing an error. I am sending a number, it should round the number and give back the value to me, but it is showing an error to me. Why? Because the programmer who wrote the function is, while testing or while his own implementation, he did this, he initialized the number value with a string, right? Or maybe in TypeScript, since there is no type in annotations, I don't know what the value takes, what is the value that this particular function will take, and I'm passing a string to it, and it is throwing an error at runtime. There is no compile time error I'm getting. I'll be at a fix. It'll take me time to debug. This is just 3 lines of code, just 4 lines of code, but just imagine where there is a huge number of files created and a huge code. It'll take me time to compile, debug, and reach that to that particular point where the error is coming and why the error is coming. Okay, so therefore TypeScript takes an advantage here because of its statically typed nature, where there is a type inference and type annotation properties provided to us, and we can have a particular data type for a particular variable. Okay, clear till here? So this is what statically and dynamically typed means, and this is a very common question when you will be going into interviews, asked that why JavaScript and why TypeScript and why not JavaScript? What are the advantages, disadvantages? What are different features over and above that you get? Okay. Now, as I said, we now need to learn about how to, so running a JavaScript program is straightforward. We use the Node.js compiler and we just execute our program. But TypeScript is something we cannot run directly. Okay, it cannot run directly on your browsers. So it needs a compilation, and the compiler first converts the file, the TypeScript file, into a JavaScript code, which basically runs into your browser, then into your apps. Okay, this whole process is known as transpilation, a very common question that is asked in interviews. So this complete process of since TypeScript cannot directly run into your web browser, the compiler basically converts it into a JavaScript code and then runs the JavaScript code into your browser. Okay, that is called transpilation. Okay, so this whole process is known as transpilation. Now, how to basically do that? I will come back to these slides. Okay, we will learn these 2-3 slides also. So to run your TypeScript code, we need to first install. So we all have Node.js already installed. We already are working on an IDE. It could be a WebStorm or Visual Studio. WebStorm is a bit higher and a little like just like Eclipse and IntelliJ. So WebStorm is IntelliJ and Visual Studio is Eclipse. So that is the reason I have picked up Visual Studio, which is more easy to understand and pick up. So otherwise, no, in normally when I am coding, I use WebStorm more. So Visual Studio is something for initially when you are working on scripting languages, it is easier to pick up with Visual Studio, and then you can upgrade yourself to WebStorm. Okay, a little more advanced features are provided in WebStorm. So these two installation and prerequisites are already fulfilled. Now we need to install TypeScript. We can install TypeScript in two ways. Sorry, I hope it is visible to you. So we can install TypeScript in two ways. One is through this command and the other is through this command. Okay, this command, that is the second command, basically installs TypeScript at a global level. Okay, where you can use TypeScript in any of your projects from anywhere. Okay, and this particular npm install TypeScript hyphen hyphen save dev is basically to be executed into your local project repository, which basically creates a package.json and adds the dependency there. Okay, it's just like maven projects if anybody has worked on Java. Okay, so it becomes specific to your project. So what I have done is I have globally installed TypeScript. Okay, so I go to my terminal. I'm just copy pasting this command into the chat. Oh, there are questions. Could you please help me with this error as I'm getting npm init C program node cannot be loaded running scripts. Yeah, today only I helped Ashish Saxena with this. Let me send you the same link for that to be fixed. Uh, Compile time checked before execution, checked execution if any execution. Yeah, thank you, Prayash, but it was not supposedly to be typed here. It was something that I wanted you guys to learn yourself first. So yeah, so you go to the terminal or your command prompt, whatever, and you just type this command. Npm I. So npm is the node package manager. Okay, I means install. Okay, hyphen g means globally. I'm saying that install it globally, and the name of the package that I want to install. Okay, so I say TypeScript. I'm not pressing enter here because I already have it installed. So you guys can press enter and get this installed on your machines, and that should work. Let me know if I can proceed and if everybody is done.
Hi Tripti, do you have any command to check if TypeScript is already installed?
Yes, yes. So you can say TypeScript hyphen hyphen version. So, sorry, you can say TSC hyphen hyphen version, and this will show you the version of the TypeScript that is installed. So TSC is TypeScript compiler hyphen hyphen version. So this will show you the version of the TypeScript that is installed on your machine.
So do you want me to
So
install like globally or I mean second command or first command generally?
I go for the second one, that is the global one.
Okay, but in case, okay, say for example, I just installed, okay, but how can I confirm like whether in my machine installed globally or not? If you see,
So if you would have installed it with the first command, right? Then in your project, you will see a package.json getting created. Okay. So that will be, and then you'll see that the TypeScript version is inside that in the dependencies.
Sorry, I didn't get Tripathi. Can you come again?
Let me, because if I'm going to run, this will create an issue, but let me just do it. And so, just a minute. Yeah. So if I use this command, I'll send this command also to you.
Okay.
I go to my project. This is my project and my terminal. I'll just install this. Okay. So this creates these two files. Do you see package.json and package.log.json? Okay.
Okay. Okay.
The TypeScript becomes specific to this particular project only, and you will see that there is a dependency added here, that the TypeScript version that I have set up on your project is this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Got it. Okay.
I have one question. So if we download it globally, do we still need to download it locally, specific to project?
No,
Okay.
because we are not programming, doing the programming at a, I mean, we are not going to build a project with TypeScript, right? We are just practicing the basics of TypeScript. So we don't need to go to that level where we need to, set up this package or JSON or create a particular structure of the program. Okay. So that is the reason why we don't need to go to that nitty gritties.
Hello, Tripti. Ashish here. I have used that command npm I then hyphen g
Yeah.
and TypeScript, but it says in terminal in command prompt it says added one package in 1 second, but the same thing is not updated in this. What you can say Visual Studio that where I have created this TypeScript basics.
So
That
Ashish, I just said that this command basically creates the package.json, and this command only installs the TypeScript globally.
is so that package.json I'm not able to see in Visual.
Which command did you run? This one, first one, or second one?
I have used second one.
Yeah, so the second one does not create a package.json. That is what I just told.
Oh, sorry, I got confused them. And the first command only will do that. So,
Yes.
shall I uninstall and then I can try to reinstall and
No, no, you
see?
don't need to do that. Don't need to do
Okay, okay, fine.
that. Yeah. I hope everybody is ready with the installation. Shall I start?
Yes, please.
All right, so let's see how to execute a TypeScript program. So as I said, that TypeScript program cannot be directly executed, and it needs to be first compiled into a TypeScript program. We need to transpile our TypeScript file. Okay. So for that, I have three ways. Okay. So these are the three ways to run your TypeScript program. Okay. So the first way is we use TSC, the TypeScript compiler. Okay. I just showed you that TSC, how does TSC give you the version. Okay. So I'll just say TSC and my TypeScript file name and enter. As soon as I do that, you will see that a JavaScript file with the same name has got created. Okay. And when you open this JavaScript file, all the type inferences and type annotations are gone. So this is the biggest example to show you that JavaScript does not support static programming. It does not provide the features of type inference and type annotations. Okay, now if I try to in this JavaScript program, if I try to initialize string with a number, it will work, no errors. Okay, so this is one way. So I have first compiled my TypeScript program into a JavaScript program. Okay, and now I will run my JavaScript program with the same command which I was using earlier through the Node.js, that is node 02 static filename.js, and it executes. Okay, this was the first way, where I have first compiled my TypeScript program into a JavaScript program, and then I executed the JavaScript file. Okay, the other way is I can concatenate both these commands. Okay, so for Windows, both these commands can be concatenated with a single pipe, and for Mac or Linux OSs, it has to be double ampersands. Okay, so I can concatenate. So I'll just delete this JavaScript file now, just to see that this concatenated thing works. Okay, so I'll say ts 02 and static this dot js, and since mine is a Mac, I'm going to use double ampersand. Those with Windows use single pipe. Okay, I'll say double ampersand. I'm concatenating both the commands, okay, to run them in one go. So I'll say node and 02, and the name of the file remains the same. It's just the extension that changes to js. Okay, and I press enter. Oh, sorry, it was TSC, not TS. My bad. So the command is TSC. Okay, I enter and it runs in one go. It generates the JavaScript file and it also executes the JavaScript file. Okay, so this is the other way, where I have just concatenated both the commands. Okay, the third way is and the TS node. It is TS node. What is TS node? Basically, TS node is nothing. Basically, it is a extra dependency. TS node. It is basically an npm package. Okay, that enables us to run the TypeScript program directly. Okay, without generating any JavaScript file. Okay, it basically builds the TypeScript file and also executes it seamlessly on the fly. Okay, without generating any kind of JavaScript file. So it saves us a effort or a step of generating the JavaScript file. Okay, so let's use TS node. So to use TS node, we are going to first install this package. Okay, and again the command is npm install -g ts node. Okay, so I'll go to my terminal. Okay, I'll say npm -g ts node, and this starts the installation, and it completes the installation with since I installed it globally, it did not add it to package.json. So TS node is installed in my machine now. Okay, now I can use TS node for my execution, which will not generate the JavaScript file, and it will directly run the TS file. Okay, so the command is ts-node and my TypeScript file name, and I enter. Oh, okay. This error I get on my machine, probably I have done too many installations, so I have a workaround for this. So just add this config.json. So this is basically Node.js issue that I generally face on my machine. So I have a workaround where I have added this tsconfig.json, which is basically used for TypeScript configurations. I just added a blank file to help the Node.js basically. The ECS compiler of Node.js to help understand that I'm executing something in TypeScript. So kindly, use the TS node in that manner. Okay. So in a simple language, I'm trying to make you understand that. So with tsconfig.json, it basically will eliminate any kind of ECS restrictions that are there to ECMS restrictions that are there to execute the TypeScript file with the Node.js. Okay. So because TS node is something outside package that I'm using, it is provided by npm only, but it is an over and above Node.js that I'm using. So I'm trying to bifurcate and use it. So that is the reason sometimes I face this issue. So I've just added tsconfig.json. There are more workarounds to it, but this is the shortest and the quickest one. So I'm using this for now. So for the more settings, what you need to do is you need to go to your Node.js module folder, and there is some settings that you need to change, and then it starts working fine. But I generally use this as because I work on Node.js on other projects also, so I cannot just go and change the configurations. It may impact my other executions, so I use this as a workaround. So yeah, so now when I'm using ts node and executing my TypeScript file, it executed the console.log num as one, and there was no JavaScript file that was generated. Okay. So this was a this is a quick way of basically which eliminates us or which helps us from having extra JavaScript files created in our folders, and it helps us eliminate that part.
Tripti, so the TS node, do we need to download it globally or specific to project?
If you want to download it specific to the project, then you need to use another command, which is npm install ts hyphen node hyphen hyphen save hyphen dev. I have installed it globally.
Okay. And you spoke about the TS config file, right? So we don't have that in our project. So do we
I
also need
have
to
to,
do it
I
manually?
had to, I had to create it because I face issues. If you face issues while using TS Node, then create this. Otherwise, no need.
Okay. And I think we can have that through some other command, right? Yesterday we had that in our project, that file.
Which file? TS
TS
config.
JSON. Yeah.
Yesterday we did not do TypeScript. We were working on Playwright.
Okay, but we need this file, right? .json in TypeScript also.
TS config.json? No. I was facing an issue. That is why I had to create it. If you are
Okay.
not facing an issue while using ts hyphen node, then you don't need to create it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Till here, guys, everything clear? So what we learned today is basically what is TypeScript, how is it different from JavaScript because of its static nature, and JavaScript is dynamic in nature. TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript because it provides us with features like interfaces, generics, classes, etc. over and above JavaScript. Okay. We understood practically the difference between statically typed and dynamically typed, where we understood the features of type inference and type annotation, which TypeScript provides over and above JavaScript. Please do understand the differences clearly, as it may be asked commonly in interviews. Then we understood that TypeScript cannot be executed directly, and therefore, basically, Node.js helps us compile it into a JavaScript code, and then uh, that JavaScript code is executed into the browser. So that whole process of compiling TypeScript into a JavaScript program is known as transpilation. Okay. Any
Hi,
questions?
Trupti.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, Trupti, I'm unable to execute using TS not command. I'm getting the error I have posted in that chat.
Mm, Hitting below type error extension dot ts. Oh, oh, you are using Playwright folder
Uh, yeah,
that we had created on Friday.
yeah, I am able to execute using the other two commands you have mentioned prior to this. Using this, I am not able to.
No, but I had told that for TypeScript we had created a different project. Anyways, try to add tsconfig.json to your project. Just a blank file which is tsconfig.json.
Okay, just
Could you please provide the notes where these commands are noted? Yes, sure. I'll provide this PDF over the WhatsApp. Okay, I will also give these commands to you right away if you need. So for installation of TS node, this is the command. For execution, TS node and your file name dot ts. Sorry, that's not YS. That's TS. Okay. Which is the preferred way of execution among the three ways? The last one. I prefer the last one. Okay. And other than TS Node, there are many other NPM packages. It is not just TS Node which helps us with this way, but there are many other packages. Although you don't need to worry about that. Okay. Because we are not going to use anything of this in Playwright. Okay. This is just for TypeScript basics learning that we are using all this. So just so that you understand the basics of TypeScript, the differences between JavaScript and TypeScript, and that is all. Okay. During Playwright with TypeScript, none of this, nothing of this will be used. It is all handled by Playwright. Okay. And I will provide this PDF in the WhatsApp group. Okay, guys. Any more questions? Any confusions?
Yeah, we have we have confusion, but somewhat I understand, but I don't know what I understand. But let me do the practically today, then I'll come to you.
Okay. So what is the confusion, Raju?
Means these are the commands I need to execute it.
Ah,
So
the commands. Let me do one thing in WhatsApp. I will send you the commands with headings so that you understand the differences. Okay.
yeah, okay.
So the commands, as I said, you don't need to, have those commands by heart. Why we are learning all this is because you need to understand when you are going to go to any kind of playwright with TypeScript. You say that I'm a software engineer, I'm an automation engineer who knows playwright with TypeScript. The first interview questions will be coming up in TypeScript, and then they will move to playwright. Okay. So
Okay.
these are some things you will understand only and only when you are practically on it. So all
Mm,
these commands and everything that we are using right now with TypeScript are just in the scope of TypeScript, not Playwright. Okay. Playwright
okay.
is an entirely different thing.
Okay, Tripathi.
Tripti, for playwright means it is only TypeScript, or people are using different languages also.
There, people can use types. Playwright supports JavaScript, TypeScript, C Sharp, and Java.
Okay, majorly used is TypeScript. Is it like that?
Yes, yes.
And
Okay.
even Python also it will support, right?
Oh,
Python,
yes,
other.
Python also. Yes, Python also. Any kind of scripting language is there, yeah, supported. So basically, TypeScript and Python are the main, which is very much in market. But Python has its own nitty gritties. where indentations are very important in Python. So that is why those who are not from programming background too much, then they find it difficult to move to Python directly. So TypeScript is adaptable. It is the same thing, Swapnil, that Simpy was facing. So please check this. You need to fix the permissions on your machine. Ashish, you have set an example for everybody. I think either you,
So it's easy to share that link
yeah, that is
now.
what I'm doing in the chat. So either the machines you are working on is something provided from your offices, and you don't have complete admin rights on them, or maybe they are new machines, and probably the setup is not complete somewhere. You don't have the admin rights completely. So these kind of permissions basically lack. So just I have provided the link of Stack Overflow, and you can fix the issue.
I have a small doubt for this based upon that declaration of the variable.
Yeah,
So, whatever we are declaring, the data type of a variable initially, it's
yeah.
going to take that on. So, if we want to change the data type also, you have to find where we declared it, right? For the at first.
What?
Initially, where we declared it, right? So, we have to find that place and we have to change the data type there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see a hand raised, or is it done? Lakshmikant, do you want to say something? Lakshmi, you're on mute if you're trying to speak. Okay. All right, guys. If there are no more questions, I would end for today, and we would meet tomorrow. Kindly register yourself so that you can continue with the sessions till the end. Otherwise, at some point of time, it will be stopped.